Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our listeners. We, a bunch of friends, Sagar, Narendra, Julian, myself, and Saurabh, we are gathered here this afternoon to just discuss on the topic of Zeitgeist and how it influences our the culture as a whole and our actions. So we'll be talking in general about fashion, art, music, movies, culture, the the many influences that shape our behavior. So I would like to welcome all our guests this afternoon. Say hi, everyone.
Hi everyone, this is Saurabh here.
Hello. Yeah, hello everyone. This is Narendra here. Hi everyone, Sagar here. Yeah. So let's start. Saurabh, you can start first.
Yeah, but
As our
it
senior.
would be good enough if someone would come out and give a brief definition of zeitgeist. If it's okay with you, Narendra, you can tell me more about what exactly zeitgeist uh, means to you, or what does it mean in general sense.
Yeah, it is about a particular time period. For example, if I tell that Shakespeare drama, it captures that particular era's emotions and the essence. You understand, right? If you see his their drama, the Shakespearean drama, and you'll be like this kind of dress, this kind of way of speaking, and also the dressing sense. So everything, the culture, it is visible in that drama at that particular time. For example, 16th or 17th century. So you can see that through that drama. Similarly, the moral values, for example, you see, as you like it. Do you know anyone of you know Shakespearean drama as you like it?
I've heard about it, but I'm not.
Yeah. So yeah, it is about brothers' moral values and so on. It is about yeah, particularly about those brothers and so on. So the moral values at that particular time is different from today's moral values. So how it developed, how it influenced today's moral values also. We can understand through that. So Zeitgeist is basically about a particular period, particular point of time, how the emotions or values or whatever the things are there, how it captures. That is the thing. Did you understand?
Yeah, I get you. I get the general expression that materializes in a population, like to give voice to the collective as a whole. And what we'll do is we'll go along a timeline, especially our timeline, our Generation X, or maybe one shot of the millennials, and we will go along the timeline, and we'll pick out instances that we remember, like for example the Mowgli serial, which used to Mowgli cartoon, which used to come on DD National when we were kids. So that is imprinted in our memory. So something like that way we will pick and choose, and we will just survey. We will discuss about it. Fine, na?
Here, here we have a better definition actually here on Wikipedia. See, the defining spirit or mood of a particular period of history as shown by the ideas and beliefs of that time. So it is, yeah, similar to whatever I have told you, right? If you want to talk about 1960s or 1980s, that particular time, what is trend, what is the trend, and what are the emotions and what are the values and so on. So these things we need to talk about. Just now you said, right, our childhood time, the TV series or anything, whatever we have watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever we have watched, for example, Mowgli or Lion King, all these things influenced our way of thinking, our moral values, and so on, right? So, as we grew up, we memorize those things and we put forward, okay, these are the things we need to inculcate. We need to be loyal to our family. We need to be loyal to our friends. And if you are being good to your friends, and how it will be good for you. For example, you see the Mowgli series, or you can see Lion King. So yeah, these all things are like shaping our.
Yes.
Can you hear the
Yes,
voice
yes, yes, yes.
is not clear?
Yes, yes.
I can
See
hear.
Yeah,
how
yeah. So
basically, if I have to speak about Zeitgeist, Indian masses and in general the northern side and a little bit up till Maharashtra or something and northern Karnataka, we have been influenced by Indian movies, mostly Hindi movies, for a long time now. If you see the graph of whatever used to come and whatever used to, the stories that were told through our Indian Hindi cinema throughout our independent history since 50s, 60s, 70s. So you see a definite what do you say, definite type of stories that were being told in 50s, and then 60s were a different era wherein you had different types of stories, and then 70s you had like someone like Amitabh Bachchan come out as angry young man, and that basically it was nothing but the movies telling people about giving an idea about the general mood of the masses back then. And then now when you compare movies of 80s and 90s to today's movies, there is a big leap that movies have taken, and that kind of storytelling also is changed over time. So I guess this is what you're talking about, right? If I'm not wrong.
Angry, Amitabh Bachchan, angry young man.
Yeah.
That feeling was there, no, that time.
Because we were a
And then
socialist society, socialist country back then, and we were trying to be a welfare based country. But then a lot of people were poor, and poverty levels and income inequality levels were very high, and we weren't doing very well with our economy as well. So that kind of reflected in people's day to day behavior, and that's why that angry young man was a manifestation of the same thing coming out on the big screens and in the form of Amitabh Bachchan. So that defines mood of society during that phase. And
yeah,
somehow if we compare that with today's movies, it's become more of individualistic, if I'm not wrong. The characters that are portrayed in the movies, they are mostly about an individual who's trying to do something or achieve something, which is what
yeah,
completely different
which
when
is
you
more
compare that from
like
movies maybe 30, 40 years ago, which was more about the masses, more about the community, family, brotherhood.
yeah.
So this is something that has changed, is what I think.
Sagar, would you like to join?
Julia,
Yeah.
this is the first time in the podcast. I'm not sure what to talk properly.
Which
Okay.
movies and songs like influenced you when you were this 6 or 7 or 10 years old? Do you remember? Like for me, it was Mowgli and all. For you, on Cartoon Network, anything came like you remember?
I can recall like Cartoon Network, which used to be like we could watch it till 6 o'clock earlier.
Uh,
Then later they extended to 9 o'clock.
okay.
Then they changed to 24 hours. That was like a revolution for us. Like we could watch cartoon for 24 hours.
I remember, after some point of time in the night, after 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, after the Cartoon Network got
TNT.
over, TNT used to come, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the kind of cartoons we have watched in 90s are, they don't telecast those kind of cartoons anymore. I remember even watching Johnny Bravo and Ed and Eddie and, Adam's Family, SWAT Cats and whatnot. But, compare that to today's cartoons, they're like completely different North Pole and South Pole kind of a feeling. So I don't know. I have seen Chota Beam and that rule number 21 and whatnot. It's a complete departure from the kind of cartoons we used to watch. I used to like Johnny Bravo. I don't know why. Somehow, stupid guy used to act like.
And I just want to put a point. Actually, coming from a rural area, like back to southern India, Hyderabad area. So at that time, we don't have this Cartoon Network and so on. Even in 1990s or I mean not 1990s, even in 2000s. So Cartoon Network started like for us around 2004 or 2005. At the same time, there is a channel called ZX. Do you know that Power Rangers and these things used to come?
Yes, yes.
I'm like I'm like 5 or 6 years younger than you, so it'll be like a little different
No,
from you
you're like
guys.
7 years younger to me, and then more years of difference between you and Julian. So it's okay.
Okay. Okay. So, thing is that we used to watch more of Hindi channels more than this Cartoon Network. For example, we used to watch this the pencil one. What is that? Shakalaka Boom Boom. And
Sonpari.
yeah, Sonpuri and Karishma, and this Shararat, all these things.
I have watched these
And
serials as
also we
well.
used to, yeah.
I have watched these serials as well.
Yeah, and you you won't believe this actually, but these Hindi were more influential at that time than this Cartoon Network and so on. At I mean our side, and later on it started Jetix and this Cartoon Network, especially Ben 10. So later on it changed off. But first starting May it was like Star Plus. Star Plus is first. Afterwards only it changed. Mowgli was like it was coming on other channels as well,
Mowgli
like
used to come out
DD National.
DD1 initially.
Yeah, DD. We used to have DD Saptagiri, our regional channel. We used to get Shaktiman. There is Aryaman and
Captain Vyom.
this Mowgli. Yeah, Ben 10. Ben 10 used to come on Cartoon Network, right?
Yes, yes. Ben 10. See, Ben 10 is the kind of cartoon that telecasted when I stopped watching Cartoon Network. I used to watch Cartoon Network only for Tom and Jerry and all. But then Ben 10 and
Yeah,
all
oh, I forgot.
yeah.
Dexter.
Dexter,
Any
yeah, I
fan
remember
of
watching
Dexter?
Dexter. I remember watching
Dexter.
the Powerpuff Girls.
Amazing.
So
So yeah,
they kind of framed our mindset, and they kind of defined how we approached our day-to-day life and what it used to be like. And then we used to have discussions about such cartoons at school and all. And then Maggie was something that was becoming popular, way back in 90s and early 2000s. Because if someone used to get Maggie in their tiffin boxes, it used to be quite a exciting thing for us. So I remember eating cold Maggie noodles in tiffin boxes, and discussing Cartoon Network cartoons, and then obviously Shakalaka Boom Boom pencil. I used to dream of it. As a kid, I used to dream of having one myself. I wanted to draw a lot of good foods, burgers and pizzas and all those kind of things. And I wanted to eat them because back then burgers and pizzas were not so common in a tier 2 or tier 3 city like Belgaum. I come from a city in North Karnataka, right, Julian? Do you remember
Yes,
eating
yes.
pizzas back then as much as we do
No,
today?
no, absolutely not.
So that's why I used to think
But
about drawing those things and
that's how it
making
is
them a
different.
real thing out of that using by using that shakalaka boom boom pencil. So quite a exciting thing that things has become so available right now. We have so many outlets. Obviously, the American fast food outlets that we have in Belgium, which was not a case maybe around 10 years. Even 10 years ago, we didn't have any so-called fast food outlets, right?
Yeah, yeah,
No, we had
that's
Popeyes.
exactly how this works, na? Like how what we see, we want, and this in that movie it is also mentioned. No, you seen Hannibal Lecter movie?
yeah.
In that movie also it is that Hannibal says to Clarice, "What you covet, what you see, you covet."
Hmm.
Anyone seen the movie?
I can't remember, but I just have the idea Hannibal Lecter and so on. I mean, the guy who eats. I mean, cannibalism, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just have an idea, but I can't remember the
I,
scenes.
I grew up watching Govinda movies, Julian. So if you want to discuss anything about Govinda, and his characters that he portrayed in 90s and later 2000s, early 2000s, those were the kind of movies. Even if you look at my DP as of now, I have a DP of Raja Babu. So those are the kind of movies that influenced my life and my upbringing. So I watched very few English movies back then. Only those which used to be very popular and huge hits like Titanic, and there was this animated movie I remember. I'm not sure if you do. There was this animated movie called Anesthesia.
Can I interrupt a minute?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Someone wants to join here. Vasu.
Vasu.
Yeah, yeah.
We are discussing about now we are joined by Vasu. He joined us a little late, so we were discussing about Zeitgeist. It's like the total sum of your cultural influences on a person and how it shapes a person's choices. So, like movies, art, cinema, music, fashion, sports,
Yeah.
whatever we see now, like it influences us. So, like we would love to know in your childhood and teenage, what were your influences as a boy and a person?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Can I go on?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the right. Maybe the whatever topic we have is uh, pointing to the right things. I feel that definitely there is impact on the choices
Can
and
you just
also the
hold your
lifestyle.
mic a little closer to your mouth, Vasu?
Yeah. Yeah. Better now.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I was saying that definitely the lifestyle or the choices that we make definitely have impact on the I mean the upbringing what we have definitely has the impact on the lifestyle and whatever the choices we make in the life
Like the
and
movies we used to watch, Vasu, remember the
right,
kind of
right, yeah,
movies we watched and the kind of serials and cartoons we watched in 90s and early 2000s. And now if you compare to OTT platforms, there is a huge difference, right?
right. Definitely, yeah. That difference is there, and also, if you see the content also has changed a lot. I mean, during 90s or during our childhood times, we had very limited content exposure and that I mean, whatever amount of time that we spend on that content was also limited because of that, but now, if you compare that against current scenario, definitely the amount of content that we have and the time we spend on it is also it has increased.
You remember how
And
excited we used to be? Sorry to interrupt, but
yeah,
on Saturday afternoons, when our schools used to get
where,
over, we used to run back home to watch Captain. No, Junior G, I suppose.
where the first thing was, I guess, it was Shaktiman, and
Shaktiman, obviously.
then Junior G. After that, immediately we used to get Junior G.
Correct. And
And
now, if we
I
look
also
at
remember,
whatever options we
yeah.
have to just hit few buttons and everything is there for us whenever we want to
Yeah,
watch.
that is actually a problem also. Sometimes when we have so
That
much
takes
of
away the excitement
data,
from your life, I suppose. A little bit of.
yeah, yeah, and also at the end you don't know what exactly to watch. So nowadays, what happens most of the times, I scroll through entire list, and finally I end up watching some different. I mean, not the one that I wanted to watch, but I watch something different. So
So we are
that
spoiled
kind
by
of thing also
choices.
happens, right?
Do you
Yeah.
agree with that, Narendra?
Yeah, obviously. At that time, content is limited as well, and also we are constrained by parents as well. Right now, with one click away, we can find whatever we want. For example, if you want to watch a new movie, directly on a OTT, you can watch directly very fast. At that time, we used to wait, even if it is a TV series or anything, right? We used to wait. So when you wait, and suddenly when you get to that particular time, it'll be like more exciting. Okay, I waited this much, and then now I'm going to watch it. It'll be like a fun. Right now, you don't need to wait. Whenever you want, you can get it, and also it is like not very much fun. Uh, you need to have some kind of what is that patience as well.
I
So
remember,
today,
I remember we for a long time we never had cable TV at our home. So we watched Doordarshan, I guess until 2010 or 2011. For a long time, when all my other friends were discussing, what was happening on cable TV on, channels like Star Plus or Sony TV or Z Media. I guess it's okay to, is it okay if I take the names publicly, Julian?
Of what?
Of the channels names.
Yeah, no problem. Take
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So, but then I used to watch DD1, and then we had movies coming on the TV mostly in the night. For Friday night and Saturday night, we used to have Hindi movies that we used to watch till 1 o'clock in the night and all. Then it used to be quite exciting because the whole family used to sit together and wait for the
Yeah,
movie,
yeah.
and you had advertisement breaks that were coming in between when you had to go to the bathroom or do something, and again before the movie used to start we used to just come back quickly and sit there. So things were quite different back then, and the power supply was also not regular. So the currents used to go, and then we used to be like very disappointed if we were watching a movie and the current suddenly went away. Then we used to light the candles and sing Antakshari, and things were so different back then. But nowadays, due to advancement of technology and everything is available to us, and so much so that people want to people buy things not to satisfy themselves, but people buy or enjoy doing things and sharing it on the social media platforms to tell everyone else कि they I'm doing like this, and this is the status I'm living for. I mean, this is my status symbol. So I don't know.
So,
I guess they call it the conspicuous consumption behavior, if I'm not wrong.
we are progressing towards becoming more narcissistic. We, in fact, even I feel I'm also guilty of this. Like whatever I feel like I want to just put it up on social media and see the reaction. That is kind of this generation's voice, I think.
Yeah. And also, what one thing Saurabh mentioned, when in back old days, we used to watch these things together as a family. And I remember my memories. We didn't have television at our home, so there were many such families, and what we used to do is we used to gather at one other neighbor's place to
Hmm.
watch this TV serials, and I remember especially this Kaun Banega Crorepati was very famous that time. So whenever at 9:30, I guess, whenever we used to hear that sound, that Kaun Banega Crorepati, that
which year is it? Can you also talk about the year so that I can relate? I don't know
yeah,
much when it
I
started.
think it was the 2004, I guess,
Narendra
2004
was
5.
born in 1998, right?
1997.
1997. So
Oh yeah, so
So,
KBC started in 2000.
2000.
right,
Okay, 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 okay.
Okay,
right.
I'll just throw some words here in between. Like,
Yeah.
for example, the movies, they influence the haircuts of the people. People start imitating the heroes and heroines,
Tere dum, tere dum.
and the shoes, and the clothes, and the fashion, and even tattoos, maybe to some extent. I remember when I was in 8th or 9th standard, Hrithik Roshan had just debuted on the scene with Kahuna Pyare, and everyone wanted to get his side locks like Hrithik Roshan,
Not only
pointed
side
side
locks,
lock.
everyone wanted to get a sixth finger, a second thumb.
Yeah.
The
And
power
and
of
by the way, that
the
was my first movie. That was my first movie in theater. Kahuna Pyari.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
so
Everybody was influenced with that movie, I guess.
I remember
And
my first movie in theater, as far as I remember. I may have watched a lot of movies, but the first movie I remember actually watching was Hum Aapke Hai Kaun. I may have watched it 5 times in the
Yeah, yeah,
theater.
me too.
So I remember owning that special dress Salman Khan wore in that song with that jacket and all. So I remember wearing that dress. So
Okay,
that was
Sagar, any memories of watching your first movies or like your first hero or anyone like that way?
the biggest impact that any movie had on
Yeah,
my head, on my brain was Kaho Na Pyar Hai. Because all I wanted to do is fall in love and find a girl. I was only 8 year old. So I even
I thought
remember.
you would say Govinda. Saurabh, when you said that the first hero that had impression, I thought you would say Govinda.
No, I spoke
As,
about Govinda a few
as
minutes ago. That his movies obviously
okay,
had a lot of impact on me. I was a big fan of his movies, but there is some movie
okay,
which makes you think and which makes you
yeah,
want a
yeah,
few things. So that movie was Kahuna Pyar Hai, because the kind
right,
of romanticized story it was, double role and he dies and then some other guy comes and he's more stylish and he's from, I
yeah,
suppose it was New Zealand if I'm not wrong. So
yeah,
this
yeah.
was
He
the
goes to New Zealand.
so I felt
Yeah,
like
that
that. I wanted to be like him, I wanted to be as stylish as him. I wanted to be dancing like him, and obviously I wanted to have a girl like him in my life. Obviously, back then I was too young, but I remember writing. One of my schoolmates, I mean like classmates, she used to sit just beside me. I wrote in her book. I obviously cannot take her name now, but then I remember writing her name and then I wrote I love you. It was all because of Kahuna Pyara, I suppose. I don't remember if it was, but then I somehow do that. Kahuna Pyare made me do a lot of things.
and also their signature step, if you remember, that also got viral right that time.
Everyone
Lot
can
of
do that
people
step, I suppose.
started. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, people were if you are able to do that step, then they were thinking that you are. And also that other song, right? Ek Pal Ka Jeena.
That only
yeah.
step
That
I'm
also.
talking about.
Yeah. So those are kind of cult things of that movie. I mean, people are still obsessed with that.
Sagar,
Yeah.
any memories?
Okay. I remember Doom movie.
Uh-huh.
The craze, the bike craze that started from the Doom movie was like fire in the market. Everyone wanted to have a bike. The modification, what was going on during that time, it was like in 2007 or 6, I guess. Who all wanted to modify a bike over that era? Anyone wanted to modify their bike that
I
time?
suppose Doom 1 released in 2003 or 4, Doom 2 released in 2007. I remember watching a lot
Seven.
of boys, modifying their Splendor, Hero Honda bikes,
Yeah.
you know, and
Especially
completely
KLE engineering boys, huh?
engineering. I remember a lot of people doing that to their bikes and growing long hair like John Abraham had back then.
Amazing.
What about Prabhudeva and his dance
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
Urvashi
Urvashi.
and
I
that Mukabla?
He was
Everyone
the
was dancing.
he was one of the
Yeah.
prime reasons I started dancing when I was very young. I was like 4 or 5. But then his songs, there were a lot of South Indian movies that got dubbed in Hindi, which were very huge hits, and somehow Prabhudeva had a very big impact on me as well. I started dancing because of him, and I remember doing this. We used to have Ganpati festivals. No, there used to be public competitions of
Processions.
dancing. I was like 5 or 4, if I'm not wrong. I went onto the floor and dance on this song Urvashi, wearing Salman Khan's dress of Didi Tera Devar Divana. And I remember a lot of people gave me money. I had like 90 rupees. People coming up and we have this tradition right in India when you like someone or you like someone's art, you just go onto the stage and hand over some money to them, appreciating their art or something. So I remember
Yeah.
collecting 90 rupees back then. I was very young and had given a very nice performance.
Yeah. And that time definitely 90 also was uh, something different
It was
than
a
now.
huge amount. My parents were
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah. But now,
Okay.
what I feel like when you try to understand, like when you try to memorize, or when you try to understand your overall watching the cinemas trend from your young age to whatever, like till now, what movies you have watched. I think that also, if you try to correlate the things, that definitely makes you understand that how you have changed your opinions, right? Like maybe in the young age when we were watching movies, that time we only wanted entertainment out of movies. Like we were only looking at some uh, maybe some action movies, or something exciting in the movies. But
Comedy.
personally for me, yeah, personally for me now, whenever I watch any movie, I try to see what that movie is trying to teach you out of that, and what message it is trying to give to the audience, because that according to me, that should be the purpose of cinema. When a lot of people, because it is the biggest influencer, I feel like people
Yeah,
always try to
especially in
correlate
India.
movies with their lives. Yeah, people always try to correlate their lives with movies, and they also want to be hero of their own life. So always they'll try to imitate the things. And yeah, so when I personally now, when I choose movies, I choose them based on the content, and like what message that movie is trying to give.
See, it's basically got to do the amount of education levels we had attained back then and the amount of education we have now, as well as the
Yeah,
liberalization of economy in the early 90s had a huge impact on the film ecosystem in India. Because people got exposed to a lot of new things that were coming in India from outside, like a lot of fast food outlets got opened, and a lot of if you remember, the first time Indians actually won a beauty pageant, women's beauty pageant of Miss Universe or Miss World, was in early 90s. Aishwarya Rai and Sushmita Sen went on to win the Miss World and Miss Universe pageants, beauty pageants respectively, if I'm not wrong. And
yeah,
that was one of their tricks, or marketing strategies to enter India for their beauty products. Because after that, you can see a lot of beauty products that entered India, and there was certain sense of having this fair and lovely, and all those creams and everything, which was not a case. I'm not sure if it was, but it suddenly got a boom in 90s. So, and that also changed through your cinemas and through your what do you say, serials and whatever. I remember this serial back then called Shanti, in which Mandira Bedi was a lead. Initially, the serials that used to come, they were mostly male dominated, surrounded around a protagonist who was a male, but we never saw a female character as a lead, right? So I remember watching Shanti, which was a serial based on the name of the character itself, and the lead was a female. So a lot of things changed from the gender perspective as well. Do you agree with this?
yeah, definitely. I mean, there are some movies or some serials which were kind of trend changing.
But
So
I suppose the biggest disservice serials have done to Indian society are those serials of because there was a trend that was started. No, listen, I'll
This
give you
is
a
getting
perspective of mine.
edited.
There was a trend that was started which was showing strong women and empowering women who were doing their own things and having walking shoulder to shoulder with men, and then suddenly you have a Kapoor coming out with serials like Kyuki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, Kahani Gar Gar Ki and whatnot, wherein the women were shown to be doing all the domestic chores and sitting at home and waiting for the men to bring the money. And all those men in that serials were seen doing a lot of outside activities like business and handling money. So that kind of took us back again a couple of decades. I somehow feel like this. Do you agree with this point? There was this famous producer, daughter of another famous Bollywood celebrity, who used to make serials in early 2000s on a popular channel called Star Plus, wherein a lot of women were shown to sit to doing the domestic chores, and the men of those Holmes in that serial were seen doing all the business activities and earning money and whatnot. So that kind of again took us a couple of decades back, is what I feel. So that is the kind of disservice this particular producer, a female producer, I think, in my opinion, did to our society.
Yeah, and that laptop washing scene, is it from her production only or what?
I am not sure, but definitely inspired from her productions.
No, I think it is recent one. That laptop washing thing is recent one. I think it is from
Recent
that
one.
same serial where that song got viral, right?
Yeah, yeah,
What is
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Rasode mein kaun tha?
Rasode
Ras
mein.
Kanta.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
think from
that
that
is
serial.
kind of, it's funny to watch, but it subconsciously adds to your brains and adds to your thinking process that women are supposed to do uh, everything that's related to kitchen, and men are never seen doing anything in the kitchen.
I would like to add something here. Now, this no, it this particular fact that we are mostly a visual dominated society. We watch the TV, and you've seen the first scene of Gangs of Wasseypur when the village, the reality, what is reality and what is on screen, and the dacoit comes with the gun and just
They're
shoots the
watching Kyunki
TV.
Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahut in that first scene.
Yeah, yeah. So that is the
Yeah,
contrast actually between reality and fiction. So we are mostly we watch things. We are not a like say for example literature oriented culture. Literature compared to the television or something is a cheap mode of distributing ideas. You can print a book and just put it in the market. Like it is, you can do it for quite cheap. And only thing your population has to be literate, and then you can like our the fantastic thing is during our independence struggle, most of the languages survived. Means I'm not saying most, means many languages survived, and we have a like a wealth of languages. No, this is because of the printing press and all. And so we should continue that tradition. We should not become zombies and sit on OTT platforms whole day and just consume media without passively. It is a very damaging thing to the health also of a person. So I would just say that literature also is a part of Zeitgeist, and it is a vehicle for ideas. Same with fashion, music, even architecture, things like this way also we should patronize such things. Like we should pay tickets for a museum, or not only pay tickets to go and watch cricket, but something like that way. Some may patronize drama, theater, drama, music, open it. Means we can do so many things. We should not only be on addicted to the television. That is like bad for our culture in whole manner.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, no doubts in that.
But yeah, as you said, right, it is definitely a culture. What I feel is to inculcate those things in your life. I feel that you should have that environment surrounding. Like you should surround yourself with people who know these things and who are able to influence you to go to that literature or maybe some art related things apart from like not apart from avoiding the OTT platforms and other things.
See,
So definitely nowadays, what is happening is you are getting surrounded by people who are always talking about OTT. You go everywhere. People are talking about some series or some, I mean, some show that is on IMDb rating. So
let me
with
let
that, you
me
feel that yeah,
let me chip in
yes,
with
sir.
some detail about this. See, we are just 70-year-old. 75 years is what we'll be celebrating this year, next year of independence, and then only 72 years old of being a constitutional republic. So, what I'm trying to say is that we, all of us, I suppose, on this podcast right now, belong to a privileged society wherein we can converse in a language that is completely foreign to us. We have access to OTT platforms. We have access to recording this podcast. We have access to a lot of things that majority of our population in India doesn't have, and majority of the population of India is not educated enough to be aware enough of accessing literature and gaining knowledge from reading literary things. So it will take a few more years, and normally such uh, events happen when there is a certain amount of saturation that happens in your country around a particular thing. There will be a day wherein people get tired about OTT platforms, they get tired about televisions, they get tired about WhatsApp and everything, and then they may eventually switch over to something else. Because there are a lot of people in India today who are first generation owners of mobile phone, first generation people who are working and having a
Exactly.
salaried jobs. So for them, such things are new. Yes, we have been accessing and using uh, television, radio, mass communication, OTT platforms, whatever, mobile phones for quite some years. But for many, most of us, most of Indians, these things are new, and their fathers and their grandfathers or grandmothers or mothers never use these kind of things. So for us to reach that level of saturation wherein Indians would come out and read more things instead of watching more things, that may take a few more years, if not a century, according to me. Because the kind of education levels that we have even today are not so encouraging. And apart from that, the amount of exposure our young people get with respect to literature or literary uh, things in schools is also very limited. Because even if I come from a convent English speaking school, English school, but then even in my school, we were not encouraged to read a lot of books apart from the school books. I'm not sure if that was the case with you. You can tell me your story.
Yeah, I just want to make a point here. See, whatever artistic or whatever the movies and so on, whatever we watch, right? Most of it are conformational one. Usually, for example, our society or our values, what we think, right? We just conform through movies. If, for example, you see one movie or someone's, uh, then you'll be like, okay, we want to behave like that, and also you are already that kind of person already. Not only some we just now used it TV serial and so on. So whatever we have the regressive, if we say regressive or if we say progressive, whatever it is, those things we just conform the things and we perform the same thing again, and we don't question the things unless and until you see other society. For example, if you watch a Hollywood movie, then you will be like, okay, you compare and contrast with this Bollywood, and why can't we do these kind of things, and why they are doing, why women are doing over there, yeah, these kind of things. So what I am trying to tell is, Eastern society, Eastern Asian countries or South Asian countries, they are more of a confirmation. Whatever the values we have in our society already, we just post it in the movies itself. We don't try to change the thinking of our people. Rarely you get 2 or 3 movies in a year. Otherwise, you don't see much. That's
But
what I
the
would be.
recent movie that got released a month ago, I suppose, the Tamil movie of Jai Bhim, it has got enormous potential and power to change your perceptions and your thinking and whatnot. You know, because I'm not sure if I've watched that movie. Have you all watched Jai Bhim? Anyone of you?
No,
I have
no.
not watched.
It's such a good movie because it talks about a tribal couple, a woman rather. The protagonist of the movie is a tribal woman, along with obviously the Tamil superstar Surya. Uh, so it talks about their struggles because though we did attain independence 72 or 75 years ago, uh, true sense of independence has not occurred to a lot of sections and a lot of people in our own country. And one of those people who are still deprived of anything remotely close to independence are tribals of India. And even the so-called underprivileged Dalits or whatever. So if you watch that movie, Narendra, you come from Andhra Pradesh, so you have seen the kind of caste system or the kind of discrimination that has been part of a South Indian society as well, very much like the North Indian. But then even the tribals in South India are discriminated on those levels. So this movie will make you understand their troubles and their pain and the kind of abuse they get to they go through every day. So such movies are being made in India, and there is a certain shift in thinking process
No,
of movie
no.
makers.
What I am trying to tell is, it should be mainstream. It shouldn't be a fringe kind of movie.
No, Jai Bhim
Uh,
is a mainstream movie.
No, 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 not that way I'm talking about. You see, it's a Tamil movie. Okay, how many people know that there is a movie called J Beam? Even I didn't know much about that movie. See, what I'm trying to tell is mainstream in the sense not particular regional mainstream. I'm talking about overall India, pan India. So that way, if you get a mainstream, see,
Pan India, if it has to be, it has to be the Hindi cinema. No doubts in that.
I think there is nothing like Pan India because people,
no, no,
there are some
no.
people who.
Yeah, I just want to come in. See, TV serials are pan India. TV serials, the Hindi TV cinema is there, right? Serials are there, right? They are broadcasted in Telugu as well. A lot of my, people here they
Did you
watch
watch
it.
Sonpuri in
It's
Telugu?
no, no, no. I watched it in Hindi at that time. But nowadays, whatever the TV serials are there, right? Hindi one, they are what is that? Dubbed into Telugu. Yeah. So these are mainstream.
So it's very difficult for me to even imagine mainstream Hindi serials to make content that will actually move Indians in a certain way wherein they can become more
Yeah,
accommodative or sensitive about other people's struggles or something. It will take another 50 to 60 years for that to happen, because at the end of the day,
The
even the movie makers or serial makers have to ensure that they are earning certain amount of money.
And last thing I want to point out, movies it doesn't make much impact. I would say TV serials make a much bigger impact because they watch it regularly, and whatever it has to be fed in like a yearly or a 2 years or 3 years basis. It's like a learning process. Movie you watch it after a few days you'll be forgetting it. If it is a TV serial, right, it is continuous process. Like you watch for 100,000 episodes, 2,000 episodes, the same thing. You put some progressive ideas there. I'm sure they will try to think about it. But in
Subtle
movies,
ideas, subtle progressive
yeah,
ideas.
certain ideas. You
Not in
you
your
have
face
to
kind of.
slowly. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's my point.
Okay, what I'm suggesting is now we talked a lot about movies. Could we
Yeah, yeah.
just talk about, like, say, for example, something like fashion or music or like, even for example, I would give a very specific example like on our currency notes, the Mangalyaan. It's a part of our this current times. No, it's a proud achievement and it's a part of the zeitgeist of especially India.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, Mangalyaan on the currency note, that is fantastic. Then our architecture, the architecture of the day, and especially the stepwells, which like old stepwells in India. Then
We have a culture of rock cut
street,
architecture
yeah, yeah.
that goes
Street
back thousands of
performers,
years.
like what performance they bring, like you see on the road sometimes street performers. Some then even for example slang words, like sometimes we use bad words and all. No, that is also part of how we learn it is that is another question. But that is also currency. It gains currency in the culture and it propagates itself. It gets a life of its own. So something like that way. Like all this is part of the zeitgeist, and tomorrow's people will learn from this. Tomorrow's children will learn from what mistakes also and what good things also we have. This thing will be propagated to their generation. What we do today.
Definitely, because if you just go through the photographs of India in the last 100 years, and if you get to watch people wearing dresses and different clothing, you get to realize how far we have come. Because there was a time not so long ago wherein in South India, uh, women were not used to wearing blouses. I'm not sure if you know about this fact, but there
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a culture wherein a lot of women in India, in South India especially, were not accustomed to wearing anything on their torsos, around their covering their torsos. There used to be this sari that used to
Okay.
cover them, cover their torso, the chest, but blouses were not so common in South India. Have
Okay.
you heard about this?
No, I have not
Yeah,
heard.
yeah. Even my grandmother does that. It's not because of some kind of fashion or something. It's more because of a poverty, I would say.
Poverty also, and
Um,
the kind of weather that we have had, the climate of
yeah,
South
yeah,
India
exactly.
is not what we have. Like it's not a North Indian type of climate. We are a humid region in South India comparatively. So I remember watching a lot of grannies in my village who even today wouldn't wear blouses. So there was this culture in South India wherein it was a normal thing to look at women without blouses, and then obviously blouse. If you look at the ancient sculptures and art from Indian temples and all, you would watch mostly women without blouses with have you observed that? If you even go back to 600 BC, around the time of Mauryan Empire, there is this famous statue of Yakshi. You know, people used to worship Yaksha and Yakshi, and if you just watch that Yakshi, it's such a beautiful statue of a woman, wherein she is seen only wearing covering her lower body. There is nothing to cover her upper body, and her like that without anything. So I don't know when did blouses come into fashion in India.
Like I come from this area near Sriharikota, you know, right? Sriharikota.
Yes, yes.
Nearby, it's Nellore district.
Mm-hmm.
There, like grandfather or anyone, what they used to do is they never wear shirt.
Yes,
Okay, only one that
dhoti.
gochi we call dhoti. Yeah, yeah, dhoti and one towel. We used to have that, and also wearing shirt is like something like a privilege there at
Yes,
that time.
yes, yes.
If you are wearing a shirt, that it's nothing but there is some kind of function or some marriages, something is going on. And if you are wearing pants, right, trousers and so on,
Mm-hmm.
so that is like biggest privilege. It's like upper elite.
It came from the
And
British. It came from the colonizers. We never had a tradition of wearing trousers or shirts. We used to wear a dhoti and at max a kurta someday when it's a function or it's a festival. So I'm sure North India had its own set of clothing, different from South India. But then in South India, mostly, even today, if I look at people going to schools wearing ties and wearing full shirts, full sleeve shirts, and shoes, and in the month of May and in the month of March or April or like that. Even watching students of few colleges of graduate colleges, BBA, BCA, they're supposed to wear a full blazer, which is not suitable to a climate like of South India or Belgium, if because in North India I can understand maybe it's a little cold on few days, but even in North India I've seen people wearing full three-piece suits in the month of summers in June and May, and so it doesn't make sense to me because the indigenous clothing that we had was suitable to the kind of geographical and topographical features and uh, climate that was suitable, that was there in India, and the clothing was suitable to that kind of climate. So after the British and the Europeans came to India, they brought their own set of clothings, and just because you wanted to be like them, you wanted to look like them and sound like them, and you started imitating them, and that's how the culture of trousers and shirts and pants came into being. Do you
It is
agree?
a
But I
it is a
feel sort
measure
of.
of their foreign policy. How
Yes.
strong their foreign policy is. They means it is kind of you. If you want to create a market for your goods, you have to change the taste of the population.
Yes, yes, yes. That is what Macaulay
exactly.
did, right? In 1835, the famous Macaulay Minute has this details. He talks about creating Englishmen but of brown skin. And that's why they created a market for their own products by perpetuating this fact that having an English accent, having speaking English language with their British accent and wearing their kind of clothes will make you superior to others, and that's how we have been sort of been subservient to their tradition of clothing, and we kind of submitted and accepted fully. But then if you look at it today, there is a sense of fusion that has occurred, if you go to the Indian weddings, you'll see a lot of people wearing a lot of nice sherwanis and kurtas and pajamas, and then a lot of people wearing three-piece suits. So it's kind of nice amalgamation and assimilation that has happened over the 300 years of 200 years of colonial rule. So it's a good thing that we have
Even in
accepted
the
them and
script,
added our own flavor to it.
there is a even in the script there is a English script now with
Yeah.
the English, like you write the word in English and on top you put a line.
Yes, yes. There are books. There are books, written books wherein the script is obviously in English and the language is English, but you have sentences written in English language. What is the script?
No, I'm talking about the aksharas, like
Okay, okay. I guess Sagar wants to say something. Sagar.
Okay.
I was saying that when
The
Saurabh said,
information, I'd like to interrupt now. The information Saurabh is saying is like, dude, what did you read so much? From where did you read all this thing?
Which
Like from south, north, like the economics. Bro, how old are you?
I am 30.
Nice, man. I'm 33. I'm learning from you, bro.
No, 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 no.
There are
You
few things
don't
I've
get me
never
wrong.
heard also.
I like to share something. I have been preparing for civil services for the last 2 3 years. So maybe
Okay.
that knowledge has added. So maybe that's why you feel. Even Narendra is a
Nice.
fellow UPSC aspirant.
Great, 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 great. It was like enlightening me. Like I was not aware of few things. You have come up with this, and this is a podcast, first podcast for me. I'm joined. The
It's nice
information
that
and
you
the
have
way
come.
we are interacting is very good. I'm enjoying
We
it.
used to have such kind
Like
of
a period.
interactions daily in Delhi, if I'm not wrong, Narendra.
Yeah, exactly. We used to talk for hours and hours after dinner. Around 9 o'clock we start, and by 12 or 1 o'clock we
We
finish.
used to just
So
talk about random things happening around.
yeah,
Okay. I joined the clubhouse for the same experience, but the experience over there was very low.
I was there on Clubhouse for a month, or not even a month. I had the app installed for a month. I went there for 2 3 times, and I find the discussion very boring or very
Yeah.
I don't know, naive. I would say, because people weren't aware of what they were talking and discussing.
it's more of propaganda there,
Yeah,
political propaganda.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, let's carry on with this topic. The dressing sense. I mean, I just want to put a point here. I just want to ask you a question. How the Karnataka area dressing, how is it? I don't know much about other South Indian
See,
dressing style.
I will tell you about Belgaum especially. See, Belgaum is a region which is not exactly in the center of Western Ghats, but is very It has very close. It is very close to Western Ghats. We have to just travel a few kilometers, wherein we will be at the Western Ghats, and we are very close to Goa. Okay, and we are a border district, so we are obviously very close to Maharashtra. And obviously, we are very close to Karnataka. We are part of Karnataka. But if you look at it, we are just 500 kilometers from Hyderabad, 500 kilometers from Mumbai, and 500 kilometers from Bangalore. So we have a lot of
Exactly.
people who stay in Belgaum, whose kids are working in either of these cities. Okay, and we have a culture not very far away from this of Goa, which is everyone is aware of the Goan culture. So the kind of dresses we wear in in Belgium are very Indian, obviously, but then it depends on occasion. We Most of us, I don't remember wearing three-piece suits for a. When was the last time you wore a three-piece suit, Julian?
Uh, I have no three-piece suits,
Same here,
only
same
two-piece.
here. Vasu,
I remember I had worn it in my elder brother's marriage. After that,
and
and after
Sagar.
that, I had but not three piece.
I have never owned a three-piece suit. I have never worn a three-piece suit in my life till date. so, so, so normally during functions or during Ganpati festival, I normally wear a kurta pajama kind of a thing. Uh, and then we have that Gandhi topi. If you remember Gandhi topi, the Anna Hazare topi. I wear that during
Yeah, yeah, that
pujas and
was
all.
also.
Then Julian obviously has a different set of clothing, I suppose. Julian, you tell
Yeah,
us.
yeah. Yeah, mostly I wear jeans and say, for example, now sweatpants because I don't means I'm not working anywhere. I just chill most of the time and I'm at home only. So and when I go for mass and church, I wear my shirt and pant, like normal shirt and pant and leather shoes.
The,
Nothing fancy. Only in Christmas time I wear suit.
Mhm.
And my mom has like amalgamation of everything. She wears saris and sometimes Punjabi, sometimes Goan pant suit, pant shirt. So she wears everything. My sister also wears everything. My dad, he's normal. He also jeans like me only and pant shirt.
Does any one of your dad wears a lungi?
No, no. I am not sure. I think my
My
grandparents.
father
I didn't.
during sleep.
My father
Yeah,
wears a
I
lungi
didn't.
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's at home in his lungi.
Another thing I think, another prominent thing you can find here in Belgaum, I feel, is as Saurabh said, right, like combination of Western clothes and Indian clothes. It is, I think, it is called as Indo-Western style. And here, I think you will find a lot of people with uh, jeans and kurta and like footwear will be Kolhapuri chappal.
Yes,
So
yes,
that
yes.
is also one of the prominent. I think a lot of people do that here, and it's. I think it is. There's a cool swag also in that complete attire. If you see, it has a good
Normally in
appearance.
our weddings, we Belgaum people wear turbans. We call feta in Marathi.
Yeah.
Big nice saffron or pink or nice red colored turbans we wear, right, Sagar?
Yeah, yeah.
So that is something we do. And my mother normally wears saris and Punjabi suits. She hasn't worn something else from this normally. But then I normally prefer wearing a jeans and a short kurta. Uh, I do that quite regularly. I'm sure you have seen me doing that. I wear a short kurta and jeans, and then I wear slippers, chappals as we say. So that is my regular attire.
Yeah, and I remember during my this thing, my marriage puja will be there. Right? So on that day, I remember I had woven dhoti, and there is something called as upana. I don't know what that is called in
Vasu,
other
your
language.
voice is not loud enough.
Hello,
Yeah, please repeat.
is it better now?
अजून थोड़ा
Hello,
करना.
hello.
हाँ बोल.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I was saying that I remember in my marriage on the occasion of puja, I had worn dhoti and there was nothing on top, and there was another thing which is kind of odni. It is called as uparna.
ऊपर ना, yes.
So yeah, so that also I felt it was very comfortable to wear, and I think my marriage was in May, so that was really relief attire during that time because it was very hot, and yeah, it was good to wear that.
Nice, man. It's a sad thing that we had to miss your wedding, though. Because he got married right in the middle of pandemic.
The second way.
Second
I
wave.
think now timelines have changed. Now people would say that I got
Ex-
married.
Hello, everyone. I would like to invite Sheldon Dilima to the podcast. He's a little late today, but nonetheless, he has joined us, and we are almost wrapping up our podcast for today about Zeitgeist and its influence on our collective behavior. Welcome, Sheldon. How are you?
Hi. I'm so sorry for the delay.
No
This
problem.
thing got crazy at home. Yeah.
Okay, so we are talking now about music and its influence
I
on
think I'm on time.
sometimes transcends even borders. So I would like to start by saying, hey, has everyone seen the Berkeley students perform A.R. Rahman's music?
Yes, yes.
yeah.
That was amazing, no?
Amazing it is. Have you guys heard KL Sehgal songs from 50s?
Who's?
Who Segal?
There used to be
But,
this
but
guy,
I,
famous
I know the
celebrity.
Baba Segal. I don't know
Baba
about the
Sehgal,
KL
no,
Segal.
KL Sehgal. Baba Sehgal is from our time. This guy is from 1950s. He was very famous celebrity and rock star. Definitely not a rock star, but then he was very famous as a singer back then. And his songs were this. They had a definite flavor to them because I'm not sure about his songs. I've not heard his songs so much, but I just remember one of his songs. So from that and today, if you compare to Badshah in India, so there's a huge difference and huge progress or whatever you can say we have come. So it's a funny thing
don't call
actually.
it as a progress. Yeah.
So it is a bit sad to see the way Bollywood has taken over the music industry. There used to be a time when we used to have albums out almost every summer. I mean, I used to purchase these cassettes,
Yes,
and we had to collect money throughout the year for these things. And with the internet coming in and things getting easier, uh, surprisingly, the artists like these have just disappeared, like Alicia Shenoy and Shan. Shan is, I think, still there, and as a back singer now.
Band of Boys. Do you remember Band of Boys?
Yes, Band of Boys, Bombay Vikings,
Bombay Vikings, Band of Boys, and then so many people.
Devan Patel, if anybody remembers him.
Yeah, my
Who is
favorite,
he?
Devan Patel.
Devang Patel.
Yuva group.
Who was
It
that
is,
host of
Saurabh,
Lucky Ali?
Yes,
yeah,
Lucky.
Lucky Ali.
Yeah.
But I think Lucky Ali still
Saurabh,
does.
Yes, yes.
hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you introduced the song right to me that beach guy with two girls,
I
some
don't
many girls
remember
as
his
well. What is
name
that
now.
song?
I don't remember the song. It was a funny song. I'll have to go through YouTube again to recall anything from that song. I don't remember
Bald
the
guy, bald.
bald guy. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. So many funny
Cake
songs.
by the ocean.
They're talking Hindi song?
Cake by the
Hindi
ocean.
song.
It's a funny song actually,
Hindi song.
but it's got a lot of views on YouTube somehow because it has got a lot of hot girls in that.
Yes. And that's why you don't know what the song was all
I
about,
got
huh?
it.
You got
Rehla, rehla.
correct. But then 90s and early 2000s has had a lot of Indian pop music coming, and we had so many famous songs back then. Now,
Aryans.
now we all we have is Badshah and Honey Singh kind of songs. Even Honey Singh initially was good enough, but then somehow the kind of songs he started making and the kind of you know the culture that came around his songs kind of spoiled everything for us. But I guess the songs. I guess Lucky Ali still sings them. I'm not sure if he comes out with original albums as of now, but back then.
No. Nobody is doing albums now.
So
Yeah, actually, if you see the trend of music in Bollywood industry, uh, in the early 60s or 70s, if you compare the songs and the creativity level they used to involve in the songs, and if you compare now, basically find a very big difference in the lyricists. I mean, the way lyrics used to be there in the old songs, and uh, I remember that whatever songs I listened from the early, before 2000, definitely, even if the song is for 4 minutes, there will be at least 3 to 4 different, I mean, 4 to 5 stanzas you can see in that. But now, if you
True.
see the current trend of Bollywood songs, only one line will be repeated throughout the song, and some background loop will be continued in the music, and like you'll just find some pop music playing in the background, and one line getting repeated multiple times.
The
So
songs
that is
before
Absolutely.
used to have an emotion to them. That is what is
right,
lacking
right.
these days. There is no emotion left
Yeah,
in any of the songs. Maybe Arjit
No,
Singh comes
what?
out with few songs that can actually make you cry, but then most of the
Correct.
songs that we get to listen and hear these days are like, mostly it's the music and the beats you listen to that song for a week maybe, and then you just completely forget if that song ever existed.
yeah. And for
Yeah, it
me,
comes down to the
uh,
money actually. Sorry, I'm cutting out somebody.
Yes, yes, Sheldon.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So actually, it comes down to the money. Whereas commercial movies make more money on the songs pre-release of the movie, and they are pushing the talent pool in a particular direction, wherein they have to churn out music on weekly or daily basis as it comes. And
yeah,
since we are not ashamed to copy or borrow from the other worlds, it becomes the easiest way to go through. I mean, if you try to write down and get your own compositions like our few artists do, like Rahman, it does take time to come into it. I mean, still remember, Rahman used to have a particular album dedicated to a particular topic. So, I mean, basically 7 to 8 songs were written just on that one topic. Whereas now it is all film. I think there are movie songs on Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola has not even paid them for it.
Yes,
And
yes.
Jandu Baham.
Jandu Bam,
I
Coca
mean,
Cola.
it's just because you want some rhyme, you take it in and get it done.
It's a
yeah.
sad, sad thing.
And actually, if you see, there is nothing wrong. I mean, see from their perspective also, as you said, they have to manage that everything in the limited amount of time, and with limited amount of resources. Even they have limitations, but finally, whole thing comes down to commercialization. Like when you see movies coming out every week, and also this TV series and everything coming out very regularly, when you see from the perspective of this music composers or people who are involved in this music industry, they must be having so much pressure of producing these things at regular intervals. So even they have limitations from their side, that whatever new creation when you want to do, it definitely involves a lot of efforts, and when you have that limited resource and time, they will try to look for shortcuts, and what they try to do is come up with some remix, or try to dub the songs in different tone. So these kind of things start happening, but only thing is that when audience start liking that kind of trend, that is the biggest threat, I feel.
It's
Absolutely,
audience should be
absolutely. I was going to get to that.
audience should be audience should be matured enough to understand what is what should be appreciated and what should not be
No,
appreciated. So
it's somehow got to do with the reduced attention spans that we have today, which have been narrowed and almost on the verge of destruction, because we cannot focus on anything for more than 30 seconds. That's why we have YouTube Shorts. That's why we have Instagram Reels that keep playing on a loop. So somehow you get connected to that, and you just keep watching with a limited attention span. That's why people are not aware enough of absorbing what is being conveyed through the music or being conveyed through the song. They just want few beats and songs that keep playing, and then that's it. That is how it is. I
well,
mean, the
uh,
last good album
well,
that I remember from Hindi cinema is of Rockstar. All those songs have such
सही है.
great taste of music to it. There is this song called not song in this real sense. It's just music dichotomy of fame. And if you just listen to it with your headphones
Oh,
on,
yes, yes.
it makes you connect with the pain that the artist is giving out through the music.
Artist.
I'll just say something. There is so much of content generation happening now because everyone can make content now. So there is a lot of noise.
Yes,
And to separate the noise from the good stuff is difficult. Even we have good search engines and all that, but for multimedia, I feel still that search functionality is not mature enough to give us good content, and we have to search in order to find our good songs and our good videos. So people like if the people who make these videos and songs are rewarded, good content creators, then automatically we will see more content in the market, and it will happen in the near future because these search things will improve, and the people who make good songs and videos will be rewarded.
See, what it comes to is good and bad as perception is again based on the public and a person's individuality. So right now for us, I mean, this is a group of like-minded individuals. We may not like Honey Singh songs or we may not appreciate it, but there is still a group of people who would want that to be played every day throughout on their radio. I still remember when the Hrithik Roshan movie had come out. I don't know what's the name. Kahuna Pyare? Is it? What is it? I don't remember.
Yeah, Kahuna Pyare.
Yeah, Kahuna Pyare. Julian used to play that cassette day in and day out on repeat till the cassette actually wore thin and it cut. The reel cut. Okay. I got annoyed. I can't hear any of those songs because it reminds me of Julian and his home.
We weren't aware of this fact.
So it's like that. So it's a choice basically. But so there should be, as Julian said, but there should be some kind of places where people can actually collectively hear what kind of music they prefer. See, Bollywood music sells because of the video more than the audio. I'm pretty sure most of the people watch these songs than hear the songs. That's why they don't know what the lyrics are. I mean, Jandu Baam and Munni Badnaam Hui is more about something else than Munni or the Jandu Baam.
100% agree.
Yeah.
So it's that. It's the market.
Yeah. So can all of us give out their favorite music composer or favorite singer from Bollywood? Maybe we can start with Julian.
From Hindi, let's say Hindi, not Bollywood.
Yeah, Hindi, yeah.
Or we can also choose some other music directors as well.
Narendra has not been well versed with Hindi cinema as much as we are, I guess.
Yeah, but still I know a few of the people.
You can give us
I can
any
name.
names you like.
Yeah.
Hindi is A.R. Rahman only.
Yes, for me, Rahman only as a composer, and singer is K.K. Menon. No, it's only K.K., not Menon. K.K. Only K.K.
Mine it is A.R. Rahman, and there is one music director called Ilayaraja, if you know.
Yes.
He's a Tamil guy. Yeah. So his music is like a very, very good one, old one. And nowadays I don't know whether he's producing any music or not. But his music is really good. You can check it once.
I also like R.D. Burman's songs, by the way.
Yes, R.D. Burman.
Yeah.
That's my favorite actually. I was going to R.D. Burman as well.
R.D. Burman. I didn't listen much. I listened to Mohammad Rafi.
Mohammad Rafi, obviously, there is no...
He's singer.
Yeah, singer.
Yeah. So for me, if I have to do that, I'll do it in different stages of time. So from the oldest, like 70s or 80s, I would say it is R.D. Burman, as you guys know him. Then from 80s onwards, I feel there was Jatin Lalit. They also used to make really good music.
Even a few Anu Malik songs are good from 90s.
Anu Malik song, yeah, he's a very good composer. If you listen to his compositions,
Yes.
there were few that say that they were plagiarized, but if you listen to his original songs, those are really good. Then I think I feel Rahman took over after that.
Amit Trivedi.
is, I think, Amit Trivedi. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Amit Trivedi is my current kind of in the top list of the music composers. Amit Trivedi and also Ajay Atul. So,
Yes,
so
yes.
these are all. I feel that music composers, they have lot of creativity, and also if you listen to their music, they have kind of covered all kind of genre. If you listen to their overall music, you'll find that they have covered different music in their overall career.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, and I feel and my favorite singers, if I try to recollect, definitely Mohit Chauhan. I like Mohit Chauhan songs. If you listen, as the Rockstar we discussed, right?
Masakali.
The entire album is sung by Mohit Chauhan, and I don't know how many of you have one of his songs from Tanu Waits Manu. If you remember, Yuhi. So that is I feel, and from Rockstar, if you listen to Fir Se Uth Chala, I think there is no competition to that kind of singing. If you try to do it from best singers, that will be Mohit Chauhan will stand out definitely, and Sonu Nigam is also one of the one of my favorite singers.
Mm-hmm.
Sagar,
Yeah, Julie.
your favorite?
I'll say A.R. Rahman and Lucky Ali. For composing A.R. Rahman, and the singer will be Lucky Ali. O Sanam.
Yeah, yes.
Song is my
Lovely song.
favorite travel song.
O Sanam. Yeah.
He had recently sent an unplugged version. I mean, he was sick, I think, while he was singing, and that video went viral.
Yes, the Goa one.
Yeah,
So,
right.
so now do we progress to sports and how it affects, or should we do a separate podcast for sports?
We have done a podcast on
We
sports.
have done already, right?
Yeah. So, but we have a few new guests with
Yeah.
us.
Yes, yes, we
We
can
can
do.
get
Arey, sports so is not my forte, so I'm okay.
No, you just it's in the terms of Zeitgeist. Like, say for example, your favorite jersey or something like that way of your team or something that you would
I just
like to wear.
want to go back to. I just want to go back to the earlier thing what we were discussing. How come nobody mentioned the movie Rock On?
Oh, yes.
I was
Definitely.
like, Rockstar was damn good, no doubt, but Rock On I think had
Rock
the
On was
first
an
one. I
on
don't
and
know about
out
second.
rockstar movie only. That was supposed to be a rockstar movie. Better it was.
Yeah, but I mean the music
personally
choice is
find
really
Rock
good,
On better
especially
than
part.
Rockstar.
I like both. I mean I can relate to Rockstar more than I can relate to Rock On, but I've lived both the lives.
Yes.
I think Julian will remember us trying to start a band once upon a time.
Acha.
I'm still trying to start. It is not over.
We have had 8 meetings on band name. We are still deciding the name, and it's been 20 years I think now.
It's not over until the whatever.
One of us died.
Yeah.
In the memories.
Yeah. Two of the members have stopped playing music altogether, just for Julian's information.
There are 2-member bands also. And when your children come, then we can incorporate them also.
Oh God. Okay, good. I'm happy to know that.
Julian, what do you play? Do you play guitar? No.
Little bit of guitar, but and now electronic music is there. No, everyone is on electronic music. So if you get a MIDI keyboard, you can do anything you want on the PC.
I can play percussion.
Yeah, then you can join our band. We can join together.
Yeah, because percussionist totally quit. That is me only.
I used to play tabla as a kid.
Oh. I used to beat drums.
Acha. Nice.
because they were there.
So, sports. Should we talk about sports?
Sure. Let's move on.
Yeah. And
So, how many people grew their hair for like MS Dhoni or like started working out because of Virat Kohli's abs or Sunil Chetri's abs or something like that way?
But it's the other way around for me. When I saw them, I was like, okay, I'm giving up. That's not the level I can reach.
anyone? No one, right?
No. At least I want, but
Julian grew his hair, but it looks like Maradona more than Dhoni.
my hair won't grow like Dhoni. But it was once upon a time in college I tried. But I didn't do it because of MS Dhoni. I did it just that way.
I have grown my hair because I was just bored of cutting them. I never liked going to the salon. So they're curly. So a lot of people in college used to call me Maggie Noodles.
Like I'm looking for anything that because of the sports you started doing. At least I started trying to learn butterfly because of Michael Phelps only. I saw his slow-mo videos on YouTube and I went crazy. I couldn't stop. I said, I have to do it.
The only thing
I'll send you a video.
The only thing I remember copying from someone is Zahir Khan's bowling style. But I was a right-hand bowler. So that is the only thing I copied and tried to be like. But then the only sport I watched on TV or any screen was cricket. I never watched any other sports. I still don't.
Actually, to come to think of it, I was influenced by boxing. Muhammad Ali. I had taken up boxing in the middle. Julian, remember? His 6th standard.
If you had beaten Julian, he would remember.
No, I had beaten. That's why I asked him.
Not responding.
Oh, fatal knockout.
And
What is it? Hello.
I said fatal knockout. Julian went out again.
So any sports this kind of like favorite jersey?
What happened?
it's like full silent when we talked about boxing. I don't know why.
Boxing Mary Kom. For me, it was Mary Kom. I went 5 times, now 6 times. I was like total this.
Hey, was it Mary Kom or Priyanka Chopra?
No, I didn't watch the movie. I have still not watched the movie.
Yeah? Then you went 5-6 times for what?
5-6 times. She's 6-time world champion, Ray.
Okay.
So, anyone else? Sports?
I played cricket very, for a very short time. But I started playing left-handed batting just because of Yuvraj Singh.
I started playing basketball because I never spoke to any girls. So I thought if I played basketball, few girls would speak to me in school.
Same here.
Yeah. But that also never worked.
Sad. Mechanical engineer sadness, that is. I started playing cricket like after 2003 World Cup. Then I idealized Saurav Ganguly, so initially I was
You were 6-year-old then.
Yeah. But at least I know that match was going on. India was there.
You are a left-handed player, no?
Yeah. I'm a left-handed. Because of Saurav Ganguly, I got inspiration from there. And left-handed, right-handed,
bowling.
Slow medium bowler.
Nice.
Any football players here?
They are all football players. These all people watch football.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's me.
I actually used to watch cricket, but not understand the sport. And so whenever the gully cricket used to be, I used to have the action of Prasad, and I used to keep spinning the ball in my hand like Kumble whenever I'm about to bowl. People used to be like, "Ye kar kya raha hai?" And I used to call myself a fast bowler.
They used to call me Shabbir Ahmed. on my local playground because I don't know if I looked like Shabir Ahmed or I bald like Shabir Ahmed. So everyone on the ground used to call me Shabir. Do you guys remember Shabir Ahmed, the Pakistani cricketer? I don't know.
Pakistani.
Uh, so I even tried once like Shoaib Akhtar's actions, but I couldn't do that. It was a little difficult.
I think most of them imitated Harbhajan's bowling.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
can still do that. Harbhajan is very easy to imitate. He should dance literally while during his run-up.
Yeah.
I have also
And,
imitated Shane Warne. I've imitated only these.
I used to
Muthay Muralidharan.
Muthay
I used to do Magrath.
McGrath.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sadly, cricket is the only thing I've watched on TV.
I think it's majorly of everybody has watched just cricket on TV.
Yeah.
I used to watch tennis because my parents used to like the game.
Hmm. I have watched tennis a little, but not so much.
John McEnroe and Agassi, those days thing.
And Agassi.
Yeah, so it was nice for me to watch cricket tennis with my parents because, wow. I mean, like, most you used to watch most of the women finals, if you know what I'm saying.
My grandfather used to watch tennis a lot.
Yeah, so that was the only sport I watched, but I never thought of playing that sport because I was like, oh my god, those guys really run around and slog and scream. Yeah.
I'm hardly into any movies, so I watch random sports, even if it is BMX or anything, some random thing which comes on sports channel, right? So whether it is basketball, football, yeah.
A few years ago, though.
Yeah.
You used to watch.
I was just.
Hello.
Yeah, BMX. Julian had that mongoose.
no, I had one old Russian cycle. It was not
Meant for
BMX.
that.
You still have it?
No. It was not mine. I borrowed it from my neighbor.
Russian?
One person who used to stay near Tommy Bakery. So she gave me the bike to learn. I learned it on that bike. Then I returned the bike. Anyone, I hope no one drives rashly after watching F1 or something like that way, no? Or rally driving or something like that way.
You don't need
No,
that.
but,
There's Fast and Furious for that.
Hyderabad, the outer ring road, right? It's very famous for this kind of rash driving, and many people, even no, this Hyderabad's outer ring road.
Hyderabad, okay. Even Bangalore ring road, outer ring road.
Yeah. Even his son died.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, because of this rash driving. At 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, they start racing towards the airport.
Racing, huh?
No, bike racing.
Bike only, yeah. Same in Bangalore also, bike racing.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
should we conclude with this thought?
Hey, wait, man, there are still so many more sports.
I used to watch.
yeah, I forgot to tell you, F1, the final Grand Prix is going on. I mean, it will go on today. It's between Verstappen and this Hamilton. You have to watch, everyone, because it will be the decider today who will win the championship.
Anybody here watches Kabaddi?
Yeah, but very rarely.
My younger brother used
Pro
I
Kabaddi
fell
League.
in love with the game when I started watching it a few years ago. Pro Kabaddi or whatever they had. U Mumbai versus Pink Panthers. Yeah, but now I think I've lost touch with it. I think it's going on right now. I'm not sure.
I just watch Test
Yeah.
cricket. That's the only sports I watch on TV. Test cricket is the ultimate sports for me. That is the only. I somehow, a lot of people find it boring, but I somehow like watching Test cricket.
No, I'll tell you, to be frank, just even though I'm not a sportsman, so I don't know whether my thing actually counts. I would not consider cricket to be much of a sport because there is so much of waiting around to do. 10 guys are waiting to bat. 10 guys are waiting on the field in the sun for the ball.
It's changed.
So I was
a little
not very
of late.
big fan of the cricket.
I did
Yeah, I know,
agree
with
that
the
a lot of
T20
people
format.
sit But then if you watch the test cricket as of now, I'm not sure. I cannot actually convince someone who is not so fond of cricket. But then
No, I'm just, my point being, it got so much publicity that it became a sport to go to sport of every Indian. You know, I mean, I was trying to say that I don't play any sport, and kabaddi for sure is something that I would never venture into. Seeing my physique, I would have got, I don't know what, killed maybe. But
Yeah, but
I really watching the U Mumbai and those teams on television. I mean, I loved it. In fact, my friends and
kabaddi is a
cousins were
very
shocked that I knew
aggressive
players'
sport.
names at that time.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's a good sport.
It's a very aggressive sport,
Yeah.
kabaddi.
Yeah, but it's entertaining. But you know, doesn't have the same platform which cricket gets. I mean, if that had to
Yes,
get
yes,
a bigger
cricket,
screen,
cricket,
I'm sure it
unfortunately,
would catch
has.
up much more than cricket.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
If it becomes an Olympic sport, right?
I think kabaddi is an Olympic sport, no? Isn't it?
No,
No,
it
it's
is not.
not.
Hardly 20 teams play.
Asian Games.
So because of that
Like,
reason.
cricket is also not an Olympic sport. Put everything just because of Olympics. I mean, cricket is
Cricket,
also
very
not an
few
Olympic
nations
sport.
play cricket. That's why.
Only a handful, yeah.
It's just
I
about
think
the
only
publicity.
smaller 30
It's
nations.
marketing.
It's about 100 crore people watching cricket. That's it. We are the only people who do that. Cricket has survived
Yeah.
because India watches
Yeah, I
cricket.
know. I had an uncle who used to take a day off from work just to watch the test
Yes,
matches.
yes. Cricket has survived.
See,
Cricket has survived
I'm
because
just trying to point. The thing is that if football, the world famous game, if it is not getting that much traction in India, so think about kabaddi. How will it be? So that's what I want to tell.
It is
Yeah,
improving.
exactly.
If you see football craze, definitely it is improving in India.
Yeah, it is improving, but it's. I don't think it is very fast paced because you see Saudi Arabian team or UAE team, if it is China or Japanese team, how much very fastly they improved, right?
India is not winning a
Similar
Football
is
World Cup in the
but
next 200 years.
Hey,
but if
one
you see
thing
the
that you all
things
forget
that
about India is bureaucracy. It's not difficult in a country of so many millions to find 11 people to kick a ball. But when you have to go through jump hoops to get to kick a ball, it is kind of a futile effort.
I read just recently about tennis star. Tennis is individual sport, no? It's very easy.
Yeah.
I mean, comparatively easy to produce a world famous tennis star, but still it is. We are finding it difficult. We can easily. No,
We have, no, man. I
even
thought we had 2-3 tennis stars from India, yeah? Sania
no, I'm
Mirza,
talking about
Leandro
singles Grand Slam champion. We don't have a single one, and we are
You
just
cannot
we are
play
like
tennis in gullies,
three.
that's why.
We are
It's a very
like
expensive
three.
game.
It's a very
No,
expensive game.
for we are to put things into perspective. It is we are I think 3 times the size of Europe, no, in population or something like that. Way.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Must be.
Yeah, we're 3 times the size
I
of
think
Europe,
Karnataka is enough.
and we have a lot of rich people, also affluent class, who are interested in sports. So, put two and two together, we should have at least 2 or 3 like good ATP professional tennis players. Means
We
there is
have golf
something
players, I
missing.
think.
Yeah, there is
So
something
the money
missing.
people go
Even
to
a
golf.
swimmer,
It's all about the
swimming people we
attitude,
should have.
I suppose, and the kind of food also that we eat is not competent enough.
Food is important.
The kind of food we
Food is
eat is not
important.
competent enough to compete
Sports
with
science
people
is
like
important.
Europeans or black people
Weather
who
It
are
will
also.
so
come.
strong.
I think we're slowly developing our ecosystem. Slowly it will happen. It is already started, and it is good news.
Because the
It
average
is
height
happening.
of Indians, instead of increasing, has been decreasing for the last few years.
It's
Really?
not increasing, right?
No, it is
It should be
decreasing.
increasing, man. Because the guys who pass out 10 standard look bigger than me.
See, I used to observe that only, but I guess I read somewhere that average height in India is decreasing for the last few years. In the NFHS survey that we had, the latest survey,
They must
has
be
a
including
lot of
in India.
disappointing details.
But whatever I have seen, at least my generation, and right now, after my generation, those people are very taller than. By the age of 16 or 15, they are taller than me.
See, average height of
True.
Indian adults on a decline, alarming claim study. This is what 30th September 2021 article I'm reading.
Amazing.
So this is a very
I'm not sure because
disappointing and sad thing about India.
Well,
Whereas,
I sit with my cousin who is 10 years younger to me, literally 10 years. And we sit to Very often I feel that he's the adult and I'm the kid.
I have somehow observed that the immediate generation that was junior to me by 3, 4, or 5 years were taller than me. But then now, if I normally roam around RPD Road every day, I study in a library because I visit there. So these kids who are in 11th and 12th are so short and stunted. So I can somehow understand what this article is trying to say.
Probably.
So
We met the
it's a
wrong
it's a
people.
reality now that because the kind of food that we are getting and the kind of nutrition levels that we have in India are very bad and very low. So this is something of a trend that should be tackled and
No,
because
but I think there is moves to combat it. I mean, like where my wife is teaching, they have a nutritionist in the staff
is
for
it
the
St.
food
Mary's?
that has been given to the kids. Sorry,
Does your wife work in St. Mary's?
no, she's in SGI.
St. Mary's also has a nutritionist, is what I had heard before. I don't know.
Oh, that's good. That's what I'm saying. It's becoming a trend because if one school has it, the other will want to have it. Others will lose out.
Because even this midday meal, see, we at the end of the day cannot talk about private schools because the underprivileged and marginalized will at the end of the day will go to public schools and government schools, wherein midday meal schemes is such a good thing. But then people in Karnataka have just started this scheme of providing eggs to children.
Non-vegetarian, yeah,
Eggs. But
eggs.
then obviously we have a few certain amount of certain kind of
Religious
people who would
restrictions.
oppose it. So which is a little wrong, I would say, because you always have the alternate option of having vegetarian food if your kid is not eating eggs. So such kind of things should be promoted, and the kind of because
No,
even if you
see, well, I'll just cut you out there.
yes.
Uh, there's an investigation being done into this. A lot of things are happening. But what happens is in India with the bureaucracy and the red tape and I would not blame the politicians in totality. It's even the interaction of people. It's so low that corruption does happen. I mean, something like that.
sad, the bureaucracy is obviously directly
Yeah.
to be
No,
blamed
but
for
you
this.
cannot
No
blame
doubt.
that totally on the government. It is, see, if it's like this way, if you have a big field and you keep a watchman and you don't watch the watchman will start selling off things.
Yes.
So we have appointed the government, but we also have to do our duty, which nobody does and nobody's interested in
It
doing.
is
So when we talk about this bureaucracy and politics, right? So there is another perspective that I see when I look at the current last recent Olympics and the results that India achieved. If you look
Yeah.
at the people who have come out with some shining stars, and if you look at their background, uh, you can see that there was a weightlifter, right, Mirabai Chanu. Then
Yeah.
this Neeraj Chopra who won the gold
Yeah.
first athletic gold. So if you look at their background and if you study it, you can see that they definitely had hard time. I mean, they definitely had a lot of struggles, and there are other people also who are having all the facilities, as you said, right? Why rich people are in India? There are rich people, and still they are not able to produce good tennis players or swimmers. But
Yeah.
what I feel is when you look at such people, uh, I feel that struggle should be one of the part of your maybe practice or when you want to achieve something really big, right?
Yeah.
Struggle has to be there in your preparation itself,
DNA.
so that you value whatever you get right in the course. Even if you get a little help from some people, you should start valuing that, and definitely with that attitude with struggle in your core, right? That definitely will lead you to really good not only in the sports this thing, but also if you also look at the way she uh,
yes.
yeah, I mean, I was talking about again that weightlifter who won the silver medal. When she won the prize, what she did, if you have seen in the news, she was supported by this local truck
Truck
drivers.
drivers.
When she wanted to go to practice, she was always given lift by the local truck drivers. So when she got that silver medal, what she did first thing was she kind of uh, uh, she had one event where she thanked all of them by appreciating the help that they had produced. So it's not that always when you have all the support or all the things at place, you can produce the results. You can also I mean, from the Indian history at least I can say that people who achieve something definitely had a hard time and struggle in their life.
And
What he's
one
trying to say
question.
is you need interest. Basically, there should be an interest or push, self push. I mean,
Yeah.
like even what do you call this? Son will not want to play tennis. He may have a tennis court in his own house.
Right.
Should be having interest, passion. Passion is the right word, I think.
Correct.
Yeah. So I have a question. You see, we talk about sports are not well funded and so on. But this time, the Olympic sports, whatever we have played, majority, for example, shooting and archery, they have got very good funding and so on. But they couldn't get the medals.
I'll tell you
You
why.
see, the participants, around 30 or 35 people are from that particular sports only, these two sports.
I'll tell you why.
But we couldn't get.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, actually, that was actually biggest disappointment was there from the archers this time, archers and shooters.
See, if you there is this thing that that shows on the screen. I guess they show the heartbeat of the this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all about mental conditioning. If you see the Indian cricket team and BCCI have a couple of people who are there to only mentally condition these players and equip them with there is this inferiority complex somehow that has been ingrained in our brains for a long time now. At the end of the colonial imperialism, we were made to believe that we were somehow inferior to these people, and somehow it is still there in our minds. If that's why Indian cricket team is doing so well, because during the IPL our Indian players get to interact with a lot of so-called players, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and whatnot, and English players sometimes. So somehow they kind of get to understand.
Saurabh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also one thing I want to tell, we do boast so much about our players. I mean, we elevate them so much. They sometimes themselves lose confidence. Well, that's what I think sometimes, because India-Pakistan match, so much pressure they take right at that time. Even though they are good players, we ourselves
Indian cricketers have improved in this in handling pressure, but whereas in other sports we are still not that good at handling pressure of the highest levels.
Yeah, I kind of
Because
agree
at
with
the end of
Saurabh.
the
I'm
day,
getting
it
his
is
point.
somehow determined by our poverty levels, not only in terms of financial
Mindset.
terms but also in social terms. We are still a socially backward country, apart from being an
Correct,
economically
absolutely.
or financially backward country.
And also, if
Absolutely.
you look at the trend, no, if you look at the way Indians appreciate people, I remember one very good thing said by Baichung Bhutia. I think not Baichung Bhutia, Sunil Chetri. So when he said when he was interviewed, what he said was in his childhood days he used to play football and he was playing in some competitions, and that time he was playing with torn shoes. He did not have even shoes to play, and when he was going for some state level or national level competitions, he did not have shoes and he was playing with torn shoes. And when now he was sponsored by Nike. That time I think he gave this interview, and in that he said that in India the problem is that people start supporting you only when you gain some I mean when you gain
Success.
popularity.
Fame.
So unless then people will not even recognize you. But once you become famous, there will be a lot of sponsors and you get any kind of support. So that's what he was saying, that this should change. You should identify the talent and you should try to nurture it at the right time.
I guess it
There is
is
no point in
it is up to the local industrialists or local people of or even civil society for that matter.
Yeah,
If
it
they
comes
can.
to a point where actually even education system needs to ingrain these things in mind. Where
Yeah.
I mean, I still remember in our school days we were told that sports beats up secondary है पहला पढ़ाई करो because if you are a sports person only few people can become Tendulkar rest are going to remain Kambles of the world. So
But now,
I'll
what I
give an
feel,
example. We talked about this in the previous podcast
Yes,
about how to market small town sports and all, and ensure a income even for average sports people, like who don't make it to the international level or something like that way, like to have a whole sports ecosystem in in other countries. Means some of the countries they have a whole structure, like top down structure. Even someone at the middle level can earn their living comfortably in sports, so we should aspire for that system.
yeah. And also we should realize here that now we are seeing that we should develop that, and people should have that attitude and all. But now we should realize that we are the people also. Like now, if you look at the
we are the people. We cannot say people.
people who should take responsibility now, and also like we are in that generation now. We whatever things we are expecting from maybe some politicians or from government support, we should also make ourselves that we also have that responsibility, and we also try to do the things which we expect from other people. So what I mean here is, again, like now, once we have kids, and once we start making them aware of all these things, we should consciously put some efforts towards all these things, that they should be at least they should be exposed to different sports, like not only cricket. We should make
see, in a society like India, unless and until you incentivize kids playing sports, there will be no progress. You have to give them
No,
5 marks
it's
extra.
not necessary. Not necessary.
Not
It's
necessary,
as he
yeah.
said. It's our mindset. Okay, it's very frankly. When we were kids, we were told by our parents. Okay, and many of my friends will communicate the same dialogue. कि मेरा बेटा बड़ा होके डॉक्टर बनेगा. No disrespect to any doctors here, but I'm just saying. You see that is ingrained in our society because of the
Feudal
one layer above
feudal
us.
mentality. We still have a feudal mindset.
Yeah. So now when we have to take it up with our future generation to see that we put the mindset right. कि बाबा काम करो, मेहनत से करो, and similarly with sports, if you feel that you have it for you, do it. Even if you are the only person playing the sport in the whole country, it's okay. Do it. You may go Olympics maybe one day.
And
Won't have anybody challenge you.
And you see this Australia 2.5 million, not 2.5, 2.5, how many? I'm not sure. It's something around 3 crore population, something. As far as I remember. And they are like excelling in Olympics, not only Olympics, team sports, everything. So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to see. I mean, their tough mentality is something we have to understand, and we have to get into that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, I would like to give a little out of the box hypothesis or something. This is my own thinking. I have not read about this anywhere, but I somehow believe the people who do real hard work and physical work, are the people who are doing very marginalized kind of work or menial kind of work. And these people are never encouraged to take up sports, neither do they have avenues to take up sports. If we can, identify such people and nourish and encourage people from very marginalized families who are physically more stronger, because the kind of work they do is physically very different from what the kind of work normally someone from affluent family would do. So I guess we should also try and identify such
Absolutely.
people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll give
Have you
you
seen
one
the ads on
I'll give
these
you an example.
farmers?
Yes, yes,
I'll
yes.
give you an example.
Not only farmers, the
I'll give you
people
an
who dig roads and the people who are doing Manrega jobs,
Digging of holes.
they are so strong
I'll,
physically.
I'll give you an example. This kushti is there, no, in the most of the villages, and they play a lot and they patronize it a lot. There was one announcer, like a commentator. He used to go to all the kushtis and give commentary.
Kushti.
And because of him, no, audience increased of the kushti. I mean, he was like how we have pandits, no, or who give gyan on EPL or Brazilian League or something like that way. he used to give alone. He used to go and give commentary on this kushti and used to make it a event. So like this only now, if how to improve grassroots sports. That way only.
No, Julian, you're right. I mean, even at a time there was all these ESPN commentators were called to commentate for these even small things like Karnataka Premier League, so that it gets promotion. I think we had all the top ESPN what do you call these called commentators covering these matches. I remember it because I think that was the time when our Rahul was still a player. He was not in this big leagues. KL Rahul. So that is how it got promoted. I mean, people started watching Karnataka Premier League and Belgaum has a team. I was like shocked. I was like, "Kya baat kar raha hai?"
Belgavi Panthers.
Yeah, Belgavi Panthers. And we had a good player, few good bowlers also in that team,
Yes.
which we never saw after that. Don't know what happened.
So under structure, district level structures.
No,
Yes.
but
No. We are saying get the big stars to cover the small games so that the small games get the kind of upliftment. Like yeah, so that it gets popularized. Because see, when you go to YouTube channels, I mean, like there are so many videos I watch because I search for a particular person and he's gone and done something at a smaller level, and chalo, iska ye interview idhar ho gaya, and then you get hooked onto that channel as well.
That's called cross pollination.
Yeah, okay, whatever scientific word is, but yeah, that's what's required.
Okay, now should we? Okay.
yeah, Julian, I was just talking about one last point. I think Sheldon was talking, right? And he said that what happened to that guy next, nobody knows. So if I talk particularly about Belgaum, and if you see the craze that football has in Belgaum, if you see this Austin Gomes and Father Reddy, and I think there are many competitions go on for football, and you see the level of football that goes on in these tournaments is not bad, and also if you compare the age at which the kids are playing, that is also not like they are not very big. So, and the people who and the kids who are actually playing in these tournaments who are really good, we suddenly we don't hear about them. I mean, when they are playing with colleges, and after that when they are playing with clubs, we never see those kids achieving the next level in the sports, especially in football. I see.
I think it's most of sports it dies out with work. I mean, my cousin himself, he's 10 years younger to me. I was telling about. He used to play cricket, and even he got by that Uttappa. I think there's a cricketer called Uttappa, something like that.
Robin Uttappa.
So he got
Robin Uttappa.
So he got coached by him. He went to Bangalore for a month or something when he was in school. But when he came to professional college, the workload and the goal setting, he has totally stopped it. Like now, he doesn't play cricket at all.
Oh.
Okay, I just want to comment on this district local Belgaum football scene. I was disappointed by the ground preparation of the tournament, and many tournaments they don't like. Basic thing is to water the ground, remove the stones, and make it safe for the kids to play. They can break their hands and legs. It's a very dangerous thing, and they can have life impairment. So basic things should be like done. It is much better. Some grounds are good, very good, and now there are grounds coming with artificial turf and all. During our time, it was not there only, and the children are lucky, but they have to pay to use those grounds. So see, business can be made around any business model. And sports is prime. Everyone wants to watch sports. You can charge tickets. You can do so many things. You can sell eateries. And you can have what you call sports attire and all those kind of things. You can do around the game, and people are already sponsoring the teams. That is fine. So many business models can be there. We should think out of the box.
Yeah. And Julian, as you said, right, the ground facility was not good. So again, if you look at that problem, so now if I say that you are the parent of a kid who is playing in that tournament, And if you don't have interest in the sports, you will not visit and you will not see what conditions he is playing in. But if you are supposed to play football, and if you go there, you will be definitely interested to know how he is playing. And when you go there, you will see what conditions are provided to play him. Then you'll try to improve it, right? So again, I think it finally boils down. Everything boils down to overall parenting culture also, and like interest in sports overall.
So should we continue with the ending part? Just to talk about memes, NFTs, and cryptos, like how they affect the Zeitgeist movement and how people are jumping onto the bandwagon effect, like they're nowadays because of the internet and web, how it is happening. Should we talk about that?
Julian,
What is your experience with memes? Anyone can ask any experience with memes?
memes are a very great culture. Obviously, they can be
Anyone made a meme? I made only one meme till now.
And I think we have to push. I think we can take this on another day because I think even Sagar is gone and
Yes.
Narendra is also hungry.
I haven't even had bath. I am hungry as well.
Yeah, everyone
Carry on
here.
this other topic. Even I have to go.
Okay.